We are live.
Before I forget, I wanted to tell everyone because I haven't had a story about my therapist in a long time.
I hate these. He's
Am
so
I echoing?
no.
Okay, all right. Just wanted to make sure. Um, yeah. So I haven't mentioned my therapist in a long time because the best stories are when he sexualizes me. But
Yes.
but I don't bring that up. That's not. I would say that's not an issue of mine. But the fact that I don't bring it up should make him as a good therapist, which he never does. But uh, so I don't have that much to say. So I try and mentally jot these down when they happen. And the other day, Alba came up, which I say she's not the issue. So these don't get to come up too often, which is why I cherish the moments when they do. And he again goes back to this. So this makes me think he listens to the podcast
Oh no.
because he then goes back to his catchphrase where he says, this is a woman who shares a bed with you,
Ugh,
makes love with you.
I hate this.
And then he pauses and says, and that is what's happening, by the way. As if like I wasn't sure. Like, do we have sex? I don't know.
I'm not completely blind, sir.
So that was it. I just wanted to update the people that he still sexualizes me during my sessions.
You said that while cooking a hot pocket.
Yeah, the background noise has not stopped.
That never went away.
It was, what was funny though? Just the other day, Alba's on vacation. She's not around this week. So I was able to. Usually, I'm in here for my therapy sessions. I don't want any looky-loos listening to my gripes. But last week, I got to peruse the house. I got to walk around and be free during my therapy session, and I was talking about being afraid of just venturing out into the world on my own, like not doing things because of my disability, that sort of thing. And as I was talking about that and saying, like, I don't like drawing attention for being blind, bumping into things. I don't like people acknowledging me in any way for that. And literally, as I was saying that, I walked into a stand-up fan that fell over and made the loudest noise that I possibly could have made. But he talked through it. And then I go, oh, geez, I'm sorry. And he talked through that, which made me think, is he even listening to me?
Or he's watching you somehow.
He's like, yeah, no worries. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I see what's going on. Don't worry about it.
Yes. So that's, there was one other thing that involves therapy that I'll get to in a minute. But first, I did want to remind everyone, blindmike.net is where you find everything. Patreon, merch, all the links to the podcast, the YouTube, all of that. Craig's Twitter, everything you could possibly be looking for is on blindmike.net. And I just wanted to remind the people at patreon.com/blindmike, which you can find at blindmike.net. So they say in advertising, it's good to throw out as many obscure things as you can.
Right.
So if you want to subscribe to the Patreon, there are new tiers. And I appreciate the gearheads that have bumped up in tiers. And first of all, let me say this. Those of you that haven't subscribed, because you've said to yourselves, I'm just waiting for him to raise prices. He's not charging me enough yet. And that's when I'd like to get in. Finally, your time has come. We finally have $15 and $20 tiers available. So I appreciate the gearheads that have bumped up. And I would rank the gearheads in this order. I think my favorite people, and this will be a diss to some who I genuinely love, but I think my favorite people are the ones who subscribed and don't even particularly like me and have forgotten the show exists and just don't check their, credit card statements enough to know that they're paying for this.
Yep.
That's my favorite because you feel like you're pulling a fast one on them,
Those are great.
Second would be the true blue gearheads, the one that support the show, the ones that interact with the show. And then there is there's a group that let me tell a little story for the people who didn't care for the price change. So if you guys don't know, patreon.com/blindmike, $5 and $10 tiers still exist, and you'll be getting the same amount of content. We're just trying to do extra shit for people that pay more money. You know how like a business runs. So what I, what I the way I try to live my life is this. I'll tell you a little anecdote. My grandfather had a friend named Bob Bop, who has since left this earth. That was his real name. B.O.P. was his last name. And my grandfather would get very agitated with this guy because he was a fishing buddy of his. They'd go fishing a lot. And Bob Bop, before it was cool, before you saw this on voicemails all over the place, Bob Bop had a voicemail. Since the invention of the voicemail to the time he died, he had this voicemail that every time he called him, it would go to voicemail, and he would say, "You have reached the residence of Robert E. Bop Jr. If you are a friend or a relative, leave a message. If not, buzz off." And my grandfather would always complain. This fucking guy, I've called him for 20 years. I got to listen to this goddamn answering machine every time. So while it bothered him, I've sort of lived my life by that code. So to anyone that has an issue, just leave. I've begged you since day one, just buzz off. Good riddance.
Looking at you, Ted.
No, Ted's a good man. I think my only issue with people is when they say things like someone on Twitter, it might have been Ted actually, but someone on Twitter yesterday was like, oh, Mike said he would refund people if they aren't satisfied with what they're paying for. That means I've triggered him.
That was Ted.
And it just seems very bizarre to me. Like I always think of like human interaction, which maybe a lot of people don't think of. But I think like if you walked into a store and were like, hey, your deals are dog shit. You are scamming me. You're stealing money from me. And then the guy behind the counter goes, geez, I'm sorry about that. What did you pay for? Let me refund your money here. And then the other person going, oh, I've triggered you.
Exactly.
It's like, no, I was just responding to what you said.
Exactly.
Yes. So those are the options. The idea of a refund for this month is if you don't like what you're paying for. I totally understand. But to those that do, blindmike.net is where it's at.
Yeah.
The other therapy thing that a big breakthrough this week in therapy, where I was, like I just said, I was talking about Alba's not around. I didn't have any friends it was 4th of July weekend, so a lot of people left. At least the ones that would be interested in going to see 4th of July, the Louis C.K. Joe List movie that premiered in select theaters this week. And I was talking to my therapist about it and saying, like, I get very nervous going into places I've never been before. I've never been to the Schubert Theater. And my therapist was basically like, well, I don't know how many blind people you see out in the world, but when is the last time you remember a blind guy walking into a venue and being bullied out of there and no one helping him with where to go? And I was like, I guess I've never encountered that. And he's like, yeah, because it doesn't really happen in the real world. So I said, you know what, Doc? I'm going to go. And I made it out and I had a lovely time. I saw this is another thing. I was very fearful that I'm always afraid of like a Minifan or something noticing me and getting an embarrassing picture taken of me. And so my Uber driver drops me off on the opposite side of the street. And I'm looking around. I'm like, fuck, Schubert Theater's over there. And so I have to cross the street. And the second my foot hits the sidewalk, I hear, hey, Blind Mike, big Minifan. I was like, oh, God damn it.
Well, I guess I'm staying on this side of the street forever.
but very nice guy. And then I saw a patron. I think his name was Andrew. And I'm always very probably too aware, but I'm very afraid. I apologize to my pal Andrew, who is a gearhead apparently. Because I always worry that I'm like rude to people. Because he caught me as I had ordered my Uber. And I'm trying to like get into the street to basically flag this guy down. And so I'm looking at my phone, looking up at the cars, looking at my phone, looking up at the car. So he's like kind of having a conversation with me, and I'm doing my best, but I'm also like distracted. So I think I come off as very rude, which I hate.
I mean, that might be more in your head. I've seen you think you've been rude before, and I didn't think that at all.
Yeah. Well, that's me. That's me for you in a nutshell.
But you can't read people's faces, so I can't really like relate to, you know,
Right.
just going off the voice alone
Yeah.
or the
But
situation you're painting in your own head.
my review of the film, I thought it was fantastic.
I
Now I
hope
know
so bad that it's actually good and you're not just because you were there and like the atmosphere, because it looks awesome.
you wait. What was the first thing you said?
I hope this isn't you're brainwashed by being there with the atmosphere.
No, I don't think so. So I texted Jim Murray to ask about this as well, and he also loved it. And he said his wife, who isn't really into comedy and shit like that, she loved it. So if the Murray clan likes it, then I'm then I feel like I'm in the right half of the audience.
Because that
But
guy likes nothing.
but I really loved it. I was surprised. So the criticisms I saw of it, I went on Rotten Tomatoes, and surprising, a film with Louis C.K. has not had good ratings on Rotten Tomatoes. It's weird, but
Let's
I
see.
I saw some of the. It's like 29%, I think.
Really?
Uh, yeah, yeah,
Oh my god.
but that's with like 15 reviews, you know.
Yeah.
And so I assume some people wanted to hate it, but the people that didn't like it basically said like, "Oh, it wasn't funny." And my answer to that would be, it wasn't a comedy. They made a drama with funny parts in it, and there were comedians as actors, but it was a drama, which is I would say a fair reason it wasn't funny.
It's got 29% from
The
critics,
critics,
and the audience score is 80, but it's
yeah,
fewer than
there you
50
go.
ratings.
Well, still 80%, baby.
I bet it goes up once people see it.
That would help. Yeah, people seeing it probably will help.
Because I'm gonna guess that a lot of these people that already put in haven't seen it and they just have gripes.
That's very possible. Yeah, I suspect. Like I've heard Joe List talk about it, and people say, "Oh no, I bet it's going to get positive reviews." He's like, "What are you fucking kidding me? Louis directed it." But they actually, it was very funny because so they were there for like a Q&A afterwards and everything.
Mhm.
And before it starts, Louis comes out to introduce the movie, and then he brings out Joe List. Or first he says, "How many of you here know Joe List?" And the pop was crazy. People went nuts, which it was nice to see for Joe List. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because I feel like if you make a movie with Louis, even if you wrote and starred in it, you're going to get overshadowed by Louis' presence.
Right.
But yeah, there was a huge pop for Joe there, which was nice. And then he came out, and Louis told a story about. He said he walked by the Schubert Theater every night on his way to the old Comedy Connection, and he said he would never get up there. The guy wouldn't let him up, and he's like, "You got to stop coming here. I'm never going to book you." Blah blah blah. And Louis like, "So that guy's dead. So that's good. He got cancer and died," which was nice. And Joe List says, I got booked there very many times. The guy actually thought I was brilliant. And Louis goes, "Yeah, and then I got a lot bigger than you." And Joe List goes, "Yeah, what happened to that?" And the crowd went nuts. But yeah, it was. I thought it was really well acted. I thought it was very relatable. I think if you guys see it, you'll understand in what way I probably related to it. But I thought it was incredibly relatable as far as like anxiety and family relationships and things like that.
Right.
So check it out. Oh, and if you're listening live, check it out. What's the date today? The 6th?
Yes.
Oh, you don't have much time. Well, go watch it tonight. Apparently, the only place it is showing, other than the place it's already showed, is in select theaters around the country tonight at 7:30. So if you're, I know it's in Framingham and a couple other places in Mass. So check your AMC theater listings.
So the only reason this movie didn't get a wide net is because of Louis, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Which the only reason it exists is because of Louis, also. So,
True.
but Yeah, should go support independent film, folks, and then I think it'll be streaming next month. Oh, by the way, as an update to another comedy thing we talked about last week, did you see how the Come Town guys have pivoted with their show?
No.
I like it. It's very funny. So I kind of expected when we talked about Stavros leaving last week,
Mm-hmm.
and I kind of expected they'd throw in the towel and just be like, "Yeah, all right, we're packing it in or whatever." I think Nick Mullen is a very unique and funny and talented mind. I think in a different generation, I don't know what he would be doing with life, but luckily he's in a generation of podcasting where he fits very well. And he has pivoted. So if you're not familiar with Cumtown, Nick is basically the star, I guess you would say. And
Yep.
Adam is the foil, and Adam is the one that gets shit on, and he's the punching bag, all that. Nick is pivoting. He says, "Cumtown is dead. We're changing it to the Adam Friedland Show." And he says it's going to be a right-wing talk show with host Adam Friedland. And they've kept it where it's essentially just Cumtown, but they've changed things slightly, which are very funny. Like the way he's done it, I think is pretty brilliant. So tip of the cap to him as well.
I never could get into it. I really couldn't.
Oh no,
No.
it's strange because you've stolen so much from them.
I guess I haven't.
It really is. If you go listen to a very good show, it's like people with Down syndrome trying to recreate Cumtown.
We're doing mic tryouts tonight, by the way.
What does that mean?
Where he hasn't been able to make it for like forever at this point. And we're going live tonight at 8 on the Patreon, and I'm putting the link in for mic tryouts. So if you want to try out to be the next Mike, join us.
What about Tom?
Tim? He's there.
Oh, Tim. Isn't that the new Mike?
No, he's the new producer, kind of.
He doesn't have what it takes.
Now he's good. He's doing a really good job, actually. He speaks
He
infrequently.
doesn't cut the mustard, as they say.
When he does speak, it's funny. So
Interesting.
yeah,
Speaks softly and carries a big stick.
giant dick on that guy.
That's a very long to be like a phrase that's a little too wordy. Speak softly and carry a big stick.
I don't. Yeah,
I feel like it doesn't work as a phrase.
Yeah, it's too much.
You know,
it's too much. We have to revise that. I think. I don't know what I've
so
said.
who are these contestants?
I have no idea. Whoever's a patron wants to come on.
Oh, so you don't even know if people are doing it.
No, we did it last week, and Box Eating Dad actually joined.
Oh, good.
And he made a list. So we did a list, and this sparked my idea for mic tryouts.
Okay.
And it was very funny, I will say. He nailed things that would be like his first item on the list was it's National Parchment Paper Day.
What is that?
It's just one of the dumb shit that Mike puts on his list that no one cares about, that he just puts there to make it seem like he did something. So he opened with that. So I started laughing. And I hit the button. I don't want to say on this show because I'm not sure how it goes.
What's the button?
Hold on. When Mike says something I think is very stupid, I hit this guy.
Oh, really?
Oh, it's very cute.
And it makes him very mad. And then when I did that, he even nailed the face he makes when he does it. And it was just a home run to me.
Why does it make him so mad? Does he not? Is he like leaning into it at this point where he gets mad because that's his, very famous character that everyone knows?
No, because as soon as I sense that he starts leaning into something, I usually go from like a different angle. Like we don't talk about whiskey. We don't talk about Whiskey Mike anymore because he started playing into it.
No, that's
so then I started making fun of his list being shitty and not prepared at all. And that actually makes him upset.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I received someone who wanted me to pass a message along to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like to bring criticisms of you to the program.
Yep.
But there's, like when you sign up for Facebook or any website, when they have the laundry list, like, do you accept these terms and you have to check the box and no one's going to read that much.
Yep.
I didn't realize when I signed up to Patreon, part of that fine print that I just blindly, like an idiot, checked off, they said, if anyone criticizes Craig Ironhead Oconee, you must broadcast it on the air. So I said, God damn it, my hands are tied. So, folks, if you message me with pointed criticisms of Craig, I don't like to do it, but I have no choice. Patreon has left me with no choice.
Yeah, I can put like a Craig grievances of the week chat that people can just fill them all out.
That would be much easier to consolidate.
Yeah.
But I haven't noticed this. A guy told me this was a Craig fan. That's why I bring it to the table. This guy said, he goes, I like Craig, and I think he actually has some funny zingers. He used a different phrase, but I can't remember what it was. He said the problem is he's too busy laughing at them himself that he won't let us laugh at them.
At my own
and he
jokes?
thinks that's why people get so infuriated with you. I haven't noticed this at all.
I'm sure I've been guilty of that.
You're a self-laugher?
Sometimes, probably.
I'll have to keep my ears open. I'm curious what the people think. Let me know, folks. Let me know if that's why you dislike Craig or if there's a different reason, because I'm curious now.
Oh, there's several reasons. I get told them every day.
Go ahead.
Oh, it's just normally like, oh, you add nothing to the show. Yeah, this it's mostly for
sure.
why you laughing. Why you laughing hate is real.
Is that right?
Oh yeah, they hate me and Mike so much.
Yeah, well, I'm curious. I'm curious. Do you think we've had more episodes with you or Matt?
Me, probably.
You think so? Because you're going to get at least another one, folks.
Yeah.
So buckle up.
I mean, I didn't get anything. I thought I was going to.
Oh yeah, because you've been on all these guest episodes too with Carl and Vinny and Royce.
Yeah, I thought I was going to get a ton of shit for the Royce one, but I haven't seen any of it, which I usually do. People like tag me and I'll comment on it like hurtful and like, oh, I was just playing and I don't think like, all right. You can stick by it. I understand criticism.
We'll go listen to Why You Laughing for yourselves, folks, and let me know what you said. Because like I said, I'm contractually obligated to read any of these criticisms. So
yeah, that's Mike saying there's not enough.
I'm saying I miss them. I miss the old days.
Yeah.
All right, so let's kick this into gear. We've taken off the first half of the show. I got to get my ass in gear here. I want to play some audio for you folks because I can't tell you how many people sent this to me, and I suspected what would be the case was that they were overblowing it. I didn't think this would be as real as people painted the picture, but this was very awkward. So a bunch of people messaged me with it, so I figured we should play it because it involves my old pal, Shane Gillis, friend of the show. And I think I could call Dan Katz my pal as well, right? I have his phone number anyways. I don't know if he would consider us friends, but so Shane Gillis was on the Yak last week and did a case race.
Yep, I watched most of it.
So I only watched this part because that's what caught my attention. By the way, I'm speaking from experience. I don't think it is ever a good idea for people to drink heavily and get behind a microphone. It can be funny for sure. It can be entertaining, definitely, but never in the ways, it's never good for the person who is shit-faced.
Dude, this thing was did you watch it?
It was wild. And I don't mean that in a good way, even. It was mayhem.
KB, for some reason, had a stick up his ass from the jump.
Okay.
And that set the tone for the whole show, it seemed. Because he comes in and starts talking shit. So then Shane, who is a better shit talker than everyone in that room, besides maybe Roan.
Right. I think he's better than Roan, but
I don't know.
I don't find Roan doesn't, and I have nothing against him, but like,
he's like
for example, I guess my real issue is when Justin was there. Like, if you're that great a roaster, as you just said, I can't imagine Roan not having anything for Justin in that moment. Instead, he got like pissy and quiet, which is weird to me.
He wasn't going really off script the whole time, though. He was more the host
I guess so. Yeah.
more than Big Cat was.
Yeah.
But
Well, anyways,
so
yeah, you're right.
Shane-
This was fucking ridiculous. Like people were off mic the whole time. Big Cat, who's trying to reel everyone in, is obviously shit faced. Never a good
Yeah.
idea.
and then so the build up, so Shane was like, okay, this is the tone, it's shit talking, and he just started obliterating everybody, especially Sass,
Yeah.
which was it was some of the funniest shit because he's like talking about how, oh yeah, no, we're equals. I've been busting my ass for 15 years. I get to headline. Well, a couple funny tweets. You're headlining now. It was very funny.
So I assumed most of this was in good spirits, and I've confirmed that there is no hard feelings. Shane still likes those guys, from what I understand. Did some digging, but I was told this was genuine frustration when
yeah.
apparently Stephen Che didn't know that Shane got fired from SNL or something. Which how is that possible if you work for Barstool Sports
And are Asian?
Oh, Stephen Che Asian?
I believe so. That's why he kind of got mad. I thought.
This
is even weirder than I thought.
I guess I don't know that it has anything to do with that, one way or the other. But Stephen Che wasn't aware that Shane got fired from SNL, or at least wasn't aware what he got fired for, I guess. And so Shane went to the bathroom, and then they told him. Do I basically have that right?
More or less, because he went to the bathroom and he was like, "Wait, did he got fired from SNL? Like he came on the thing for that." And then everyone
stunning to have. Let's say you didn't hear about it at the time, which still seems shocking if you work at Barstool. To have him on your show and still not know that seems it's mind-boggling.
He's been in that building several times at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's shtick that Stephen Che is doing. I have no idea.
I don't know. This didn't read like shtick to me.
No. So Stephen was nice the one time I interact. I don't know him at all, really. He seems like a nice enough guy. But this I thought was very weird. Again, could be fueled by booze.
It definitely was.
Not a great idea to do on a podcast, as I've said. I learned the hard way, folks. So I guess this is where we're starting, where Shane gets back from the bathroom and Stephen is calling him out on his Chinese food order.
Yeah.
So this is related. So Stephen brings this up because of the SNL thing.
Yeah, and he says, if you tell me your favorite, he said, if you tell me your standard Chinese food order and I like it, I won't come fight you or some shit.
No, we're about to hear that part, but I guess what I'm asking is, I don't get what does he want him to say here? Like, what's the wrong answer?
I don't know.
Noodles, perhaps? That was my assumption.
Oh, no, but that would imply that he knew why he got fired.
Right. That's what I don't understand about any of this. But let's just play where Steven starts chirping Shane about Chinese food, I guess.
You guys have been getting knocked out a lot lately.
Yeah,
Against their will. You guys have been getting knocked out a little bit lately.
Shane sounds mangled too.
Lately. Tiebreaker. See if he's telling the truth.
Toss Will Compton.
Shane, to see if you're telling the truth, what's your order of Chinese food?
Okay, pause right there. I don't get. What am I missing? Someone in the comments or where later on Twitter, whatever. Please tell me what I'm missing, because Big Cat's a funny guy. I think he knows comedy, and his reaction made me think there's something here I have to be missing.
Well, so everyone on this program has had 8 beers in under an hour at minimum.
Right.
So everyone's hammered, especially Will Compton.
Okay, so Big Cat just hears Chinese and Shane Gillis and says, "Oh, there's shit talk going on."
No, he's telling everyone to shut up because he wants to hear Shane's order.
I don't know. Replay that. Let's go back.
Let me see.
Against their will. You guys have been getting knocked out a little bit lately.
Knocked out. All right. Well,
lately. By the way, that
trying to do Trump.
No. That's the funny. That was like a sneaky funny joke that no one bet on when he was talking about Asian people, and he goes, "Yeah, you guys have been getting knocked out a little bit lately."
Okay. Well, let's not try and cancel Shane ourselves, for Christ's sake.
I mean, broadcasted on definitely. It would have happened already, I think.
Tiebreaker. See if he's telling the truth.
Toss Will Compton.
Shane, to see if you're telling the truth. What's your order at Chinese food?
Everyone shut up.
No, see, the big cat goes, like shit talk has just been struck down.
No, I got that was excitement. He wants to hear it because he keeps telling Shane for like the next 12 minutes to say his order.
All right, let's hear a little more.
And hold on, before you answer, this is either going to result in a fight between you and I, a wrestling match, or you're cool.
Why?
Okay. Well, I
don't get
Think about it.
Yeah, think about it.
I'm going to take my glasses off to wrestle you.
Oh, you're okay, will you?
I'll be.
So right now, I'm assuming what's going through Shane's mind is he calling me out for the SNL thing? Like, really? At Barstool, I have to deal with this shit?
Yeah. People are just saying he's a bad drunk.
Which?
Che.
Maybe. That's hilarious. Just the little I know of Stephen Che's personality. If he's the kind of guy, like, when he has a few, he's like gets in people's faces. That's a hilarious character for Stephen Che to be as a drunk.
Right. I agree with that.
Was there any more here? Or should we fast forward a little bit?
Let's see.
He will.
You fucking absolute nobody.
You think I know who you are? I don't.
Hey, come in. I love all of them.
Never heard of you either.
Hey, come in.
Good.
But let him give his orders. Now it has to.
Hold on, shut up. Let Shane give his order.
Amazing.
I'm giving you this choice.
Give your order.
You're gonna make.
Give your order.
I have a
Big
direct.
Cat just keeps asking for the order.
That's how nice a guy Big Cat is that I'm not even sure he realizes shit talk is happening in front of him. Or he's just trying to keep everyone. I don't know what his angle is, but he's too nice a guy for these scenarios to know how to handle them.
Oh, definitely. He's like Kumio when people would start fighting.
Just uncomfortable.
There was a fight between who the fuck was it? It was Ron Bennington and someone on Kumio's show, and he just froze and didn't know how to.
Oh,
get
that's
out of
infamous. Some fucking racist, like a genuine racist guy.
I forget.
Not
forget
like where like Anthony says shit that if people call him racist for it, I have no problem with it. I just don't think he is racist. But they had some guy who like wrote a book about how to be racist essentially, and Ron Bennington was like, I don't want any part of this really, and they got into a genuine fight, and it was interesting to watch Anthony Cumia, who had 20 years of broadcasting experience under his belt, not know what to do in that situation. That's where, if you wonder, to Opie and Anthony fans, if you wonder what Opie's talent was, you saw it in that moment where you're like, oh, he would have known what to do there.
Yeah, no, he gets shit, which is rightfully so. I feel like we do this all the time, but he was good where he needed to be.
Yes, no, he had good moments on Opie and Anthony. He just forgot what those were and got very arrogant and self-absorbed.
Oh, for sure.
Anyways, let's hear a little more here, and then I think we can skip forward to the next timestamp.
I did already. I skipped forward.
Oh, you did? Okay. Well, yeah, let's just hear that. So this is where it starts to get. You can hear Shane getting angry there, but when I heard that, luckily I listened a little more because when I heard that, I was like, people are just making something out of nothing. But here's where I think you hear Shane start to get genuinely angry.
Oh, Mike, but that would be like when Greg Polar was on KMS, you stood up, or Justin stood up and was like, hey, what are you from? I've never heard of you.
Yeah.
You want to fight?
Right. I see what you're saying, where he doesn't know who Stephen Che is, and Stephen Che is like, who the fuck are you?
But that's what I'm saying. Shane's a guest on the show. Stephen Che's in the other room off camera and all this shit. And then is all of a sudden just being told for no reason that he doesn't know who he is.
And I would say Big Cat's probably more famous, quote unquote, than Shane, right? Would you say?
Easily.
Yeah. Okay. So Shane, second most famous guy in that room would be Shane, I would think.
Probably Roan.
You think so? Really?
Roan's crazy popular.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I don't. What am I missing?
You're not an like a battle rap fan?
Okay, is that what he's like known for?
Oh yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like if
all right. So it's just not my lane.
He wins like not. I mean, he's won every major battle rap tournament there is. That's why I'm like, I don't know. If he really wanted to torch people, he can. I've seen
Oh,
it.
okay. I got you. All right. That I didn't. I knew he did that shit, but I didn't know he was actually good at it.
No, dude, he goes and fucks everyone up.
Okay. He does stand up too, right? I've seen shit on like TikTok.
Does he? I didn't know that. I know he went back to battle rap for the first time in a while, like a year or two ago, and it did crazy pay-per-view buys.
Oh, all right. Well, interesting. Either way, regardless, if we're forget ranking famous people, but if you do have a guest, you should know who they are. I think so. Shay's in the wrong so far, but
Yes.
let's see where this goes.
That I definitely agree with for sure.
This is where people were messaging me and saying, "Boy, was I uncomfortable."
Yeah.
Roan is sober.
Bullshit.
Roan's sober
Yeah,
right now.
my man, I'm going on year 10, big dog.
You're a 10, bro.
Really?
Say your order.
Jay, laugh at
Say
that.
your order. Say it.
Someone get- no.
Say your order.
Here's my order. Yo, get fired. Get fired. Yo, I will make sure you don't work here anymore.
No, say your order.
For real.
Jay.
What a
Oh, for
stupid.
real.
Oh, Jay's coming. Oh,
Oh, say your order
Yep.
for real.
fair.
Shane's legit annoyed.
Fair.
He's an idiot.
Jay,
Say your order.
He wants to wrestle.
Get 7-on-7 hats.
Now. He wants
Pause.
to
This is
wrestle
where I have to say, as if I'm Shane, I'm most annoyed at Stephen Che.
For
If
sure.
I'm just out at a bar with these guys, Dan is the one I'm annoyed at. Where I'm like, if this motherfucker says "say your order" one more time,
He's trying. I know what he's doing, but like, yes, I agree. He's, like,
shut up.
he's trying. The only person that I thought had their head on straight during this was Roan, because he's like, he goes semi off mic and he's like, "Yeah, let's not fight our guest, Steven."
Yeah, no, I did like that he said that. Where he's like, "What the fuck are you doing, man?"
Yeah.
I think Roan is the one guy he was drinking too, right?
Yep.
But I think it seems like he kind of sprung out of this to be like, all right, let's not ruin our lives here over whatever's about to happen.
He's also Shane's partner, so he didn't probably have to do too much.
True. By the way, did you happen to watch the latest Protect Our Parks?
Not yet. I think I'm like maybe 25, 30 minutes in.
Ari Shafir made a bet with Shane.
Uh-oh.
Or not even a bet. Ari wouldn't have to pay if he couldn't do it. Shane basically offered him. Ari was talking a bunch of shit saying he'd keep up with him drinking on Rogan.
Mm-hmm.
And Shane offered him $5,000 if he kept up with him. Ari puked multiple times, pissed in the hallway, and fell asleep on the couch, and they left him there. So safe to say these men had a tall task trying to keep up with Shane.
I like how he's like, he sits at the beginning of this, he sits down and he says, I'm just here to figure out who's coming in second. But like before he comes in, he's like, I think I might have a problem. It was very funny.
All right, let's hear a little more.
Oh no!
You're reading a girl.
No!
Hey,
No! No!
Yes,
He's our guest on our show.
I don't mind it.
Referee.
Shane, just say your order. Say your real
I
order.
like it.
Hold on. Say your real order. Say your real order.
Yeah, I like it.
Shane, say
Brandon
your
Walker
real
too,
order.
taking him out. Like, get the
Say your
fuck
real
outta here.
order.
Why the fuck is this dude in here trying to fight?
Say your real order. Say your
Good
real
question.
order.
Hold on. Yo, for real. Yo, is this your office?
No, just say your order.
Hold on. Are these your office
Yes,
workers?
say your order.
Make sure this office worker isn't trying to fight me
Say
right
your order. Just say your order.
Hold on.
Jay,
Say your
That's
order.
where this is where I think it
No,
got
no,
serious.
just say your real order.
That's what Shane got
Where
pissed.
that's where I think it gets serious, where he doesn't know who Stephen Che is. And Stephen Che was a guy who was just in sales not that long ago. So as
Right.
far as Shane knows, people are like just coming out of the back offices to talk shit about him. And a drunk Shane is like, hey, motherfucker, get your men in line here.
Right. No, it's fucking stupid.
Which is,
But-
again, that's why I say, from experience, don't drink on podcasts. Because like Shane doesn't strike me as this type of guy. So like
Shane was
sober, I don't
also-
know if he would have wanted that side to be like on air. You know what I mean? Where he's like, get control of your fucking guys. I'll get you fired.
Apparently, so Kirk 5K says Che 5 days ago tweeted, "So what's your favorite Chinese food order?" So I think he realizes he was a mess. I mean, if you didn't, you kind of need to.
I think Stephen Chase strikes me as a good guy. I don't think he's a shithead. I just think they were all drunk and acting a fool, as they say.
But that's the whole point of this video, though, is to get shit faced and be an idiot. So it's kind of
but I guess this is why you don't do that.
Oh, for sure. But you also should make a rule. Hey, anything goes. Just don't fight a guest.
Right, but that's tough. Once booze is involved, the rules go out the window.
Also, let's not try to bait the guy who made an Asian joke into fighting an Asian guy on this
Is Stephen
case.
Che Asian? Does anyone know this? Craig keeps saying it. I have no idea if that's true or not.
He said he insinuated he was Asian because he said he had to defend his people. So I assume that meant he was Asian.
It's possible. I don't know.
It's a pretty damning sentence. It's not.
Like the Craig refers to it as damning to be Asian.
no. I said it was a damning sentence.
Well, Stephen, we've got you dead to rights.
Are you Korean?
Stephen, we've really backed you into a corner. There's nowhere to run now, pal. Let's keep playing.
The worst reactions to this were the fucking stoolies, though. Did you read any of them?
No, what happened?
Oh my god!
So the people that messaged me, I'm assuming gearheads on some level. They all said they were on Shane's side. It seemed like they all said, "Did you see Stephen Che getting weird with Shane?"
Yeah, but you could if you watch the case race, Shane was being so fucking funny the whole time, just busting people's balls.
Sure,
it was very funny. And then
someone on there said Shane's the best stand-up working today.
That was Sass. He was really trying to win favor back with him, but it wasn't.
Well, I would agree with it. I don't know much. I didn't realize Lil Sass was a stand-up until recently.
He just started.
Okay. Do you know much of his work?
He's 21 and like
he doesn't have much.
The reason that Sass was getting body bagged by Shane is because Shane's you made a couple funny tweets, now you're headlining is true. And
the part that I heard about him that I thought was very funny was that they were saying he walked into Portnoy's office and asked for $500,000 or something.
Yeah. I don't know if it was that much, but it was a substantial raise.
That's very funny.
Yeah, but he was just trashing him the whole time, and he just kept trying to compliment him, and then he would make jokes and then look at Shane for approval, and it wouldn't come.
I gotta say, I don't know anything about the kid. For 21 years old, I've done a lot worse. Like that's kind of what he should be doing at that level.
For sure. But even Shane said, he's like, "You don't think I went through this, you idiot?"
Right.
But the stoolies dude on the comments of this video or the Reddit, I was like, I'm gonna go take a peek and see what people are saying. They're like, "Oh, Shane's not even funny," and like, this is stupid.
Really? Can we hear some of it? Are they on like this YouTube video or?
I'll take a peek in a second.
All right, let's hear more and see if you can find some of those comments.
As a guest, come on,
bros. Why would I come down here?
As a guest, you can't try to fight him.
No, he's gonna say his real order. He's gonna say
As a guest, you
Shut
can't
up,
try to fight a guest.
Jay,
I said it so much, it's kind of funny again.
Fall all the way back, brother.
Why are you trying to fight me, you dumbass?
Che, you can't be fighting. You can't be fighting. Love this. Love
that was the highlight of the. That was the
love comp.
Why did he out of nowhere try to fight me?
Yeah,
I don't know
as a
what
guest,
happened. I
you
was in
can't
the
try and
bathroom.
fight the guest, dude. You just can't do it. You can't, as someone we're trying to get in here to make this case race better, you can't try to fight the guest, even as a
beauty of the case race.
Even as a goof.
Whoa! What happened? What happened?
Pause for a second.
It's the
I get KB finally. I think. I didn't like him during the Barstool Idol thing. I thought he was taking it too seriously. And then yesterday on KMS, they told me he was making hand gestures that suggested he wanted Justin to keep going.
Oh yeah, he kept like doing the "come on" thing.
Yeah, and then in that moment where like it's kind of getting serious, I just heard KB go, "It's the case race. You never know."
I think KB's very funny.
I've come around on him. I apologize. I take it all back.
The only person from the Yak thing that pissed me off was that Owen kid.
You mean with Justin?
Yeah, because it's like, dude, have
Yeah,
fun.
seemed completely humorless.
Everyone's like, oh, he fucking owned him. He was like, he basically hit him with a "I know you are, but what am I?" And everyone's like, oh, he got him so
Yeah.
good.
And he
Ugh.
also didn't own him. It's weird. The response, Owen and Caroline both had this response where they were like, some life that kid has. He drove to a basketball game at 5:30 in the morning.
Didn't Justin hit him with the basically like the "oh, I didn't know you were on the show"?
No, he said that's why you're not on air or something
Oh,
like
that's
that.
it. Yeah, which is
Um,
funny because he's technically in a seat every show.
right. But they were like, what kind of loser would go to a basketball game at 5:30 in the morning? And I was like, you guys were also at that game. I don't understand your logic.
Roy says Craig is right. The stoolies were insufferable, and he says KB admitted on the act the next day that he pre-gamed before the case race and was already trashed to start.
Good for him. So, what? Do we have any other comments of these insufferable stoolies?
Let me pull this off real quick and try to find some.
That's got to be new school. If you listened to this and took Stephen Shea's side, that's got to be new school stoolies, I would think.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, look at this. Props to Will continuously supporting Sass through his mental breakdown. It's like, what the fuck? I don't know.
Oh, another thing. You know what? A thing I didn't love, unless this is a bit that I didn't understand. Did they expose that Will Compton has a tiny penis?
They were joking because he like took his pants off and had compression shorts on, and they were just.
Were they joking? I guess is what I'm asking.
I didn't see anything wrong with it.
It just seems weird. 'Cause, like the guy was shit faced, you know.
Right.
I guess they didn't show a picture of it or anything, but to just be like, this guy now that's going to stick with him. I would think that he has a tiny dick.
And now because it's fucking days out, I'm not gonna find any of these comments I saw.
Oh well. Just imagine, those of you at home, just imagine they were insufferable.
They were. I mean, right off the bat, they really fucking were. It was insane. I'm like, how can you look at him and go, "That's not funny"?
It's very weird. You know, it's weird. So I went back and, like I said, I mentioned the Rotten Tomatoes score of 4th of July,
Mm-hmm.
and I read some of the comments, and it was literally like the exact opposite reaction of mine. And I found it just fascinating that like two people could walk into a movie or listen to a podcast or whatever and have like they're the same species and they have the exact opposite reaction to something. It's so strange to me, but it happens all the time.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just realizing life, but
This
to me it was weird.
this fucking comment section is completely different. Now, I've seen 2 comments about Shane. They were positive and nothing else. Before it was literally just all, I can't believe he's here. He's wrecking this, and he's not even funny. And
Yeah. Well, I do have to say though, because we know of his work, anyone making a first impression while fucking hammered, it probably isn't gonna be. If this was my first impression of Big Cat, I'd be like, boy, this guy is a real nuisance.
oh yeah,
You know, like a first impression should not be made hammered.
yeah. I'm just glad. Oh, maybe this is because people have had time to like the comments.
Yeah, the Matt and Shane boys probably got a hold of this.
Oh, some of them were like I saw like Sad Toe and all that shit throughout the
Yeah.
comments.
Suck our
So,
dicks to all our enemies.
yeah, that was like the first drunk Shane on a podcast thing. Suck our dicks to all our enemies, which is an unbelievable quote.
It's great. Yeah, so that was that pretty much, right? So then, like, if we kept playing, which we won't because it's bad audio, but if we kept playing, we would just hear a skirmish off mic with Big Cat sitting there trying to do an ad read and then people interrupting him.
Yes.
Just mayhem, utter mayhem.
And he kept telling Sass to shut up, which then became the new just tell him your order. And I was like, all right, we get it.
Yeah.
And I was like, aren't there producers that could literally just shut his mic off?
Well, they thought it was part of the fun, I suppose. Yeah, so that caught my attention. A lot of people sent that to me. What else should we do with the rest of our time here? Should we go to a couple stories, or do we finally get to the comedy coach, Steve North?
Might as well go comedy coach.
You think so?
Yeah, I'm curious.
Well, folks, if you missed it, a couple weeks ago, I teased a video that I found. Steve North is apparently, I guess he was a comedian or is a comedian, but is sort of over the years pivoted to teaching comedy, which, as you know, could be helpful to me if you've seen any of my work. So Steve North is teaching comedy, and he has some interesting suggestions, and he's with a young man who learns very quickly from Steve North's way of teaching.
Is that the cue? Did you go away?
Yes.
Oh, you're blocked. Sorry. I couldn't see you from the screen.
Hi, I'm Ryan Bozan, and I'm with Steve North, the comedy coach, and he's going to teach us all about stand-up comedy to get us going the right way, the fast way, by teaching the comedic character method. Well, Steve, what are we going to learn?
Okay, well, the first thing we're going to learn is to be a comedian and not a comic, to be a funny person, not a joke teller.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Then we're going to learn to create our own unique comedic character because everybody has a different one.
So we
Pause for a second. This is what scam artists do, where they just basically take the same word and give it a different meaning so that you think you're learning something even though it's just nonsense. Like
Right.
say, I'm turning you into a comedian, not a joke teller. And you're like, oh, very interesting.
All you had to say there is, I'm going to try to help you sound more natural when you're telling your jokes.
No, but this is how you phrase it to
Right.
dupe rubes into handing you money.
Right.
Okay.
Then we're going to learn the most important writing formulas for creating great stand-up material. Then we're going to wrap it up by learning performance techniques so you can get up there and really do it.
Great. I'll be here all week.
Yeah, the bright lights are yours.
This guy's already got the chops, I think.
I don't think the comedy guy picked up on that joke, which is the best part about that.
This kid should be teaching the class, huh, folks?
He goes, I'll be here all week. And he's like, right. And there's bright lights.
So my question to Steve North would be, like, as the comedy coach, like, he's going to teach you how to write great jokes. Like, do you yourself have any of those? Like, have you mastered that craft, I guess is what I'm asking.
No.
Well, let's find out.
By the way, video off the side, this quick detour. Louis C.K. and Joe List on Are You Garbage?
Oh, that's what I meant to say. I'm sorry. I meant to say that when I was talking about 4th of July. Louis C.K. and Joe List did Are You Garbage? They did Ari Shaffir's Skeptic Tank.
I did see that, but I haven't listened to it yet. And before it gets streaming, they're going on Rogan.
I wondered about that. So here's the thing, though. It's very weird to me. I would also do this. If Louis C.K. contacted me and said, I don't feel like talking about the jerking off stuff, but I want to come on and promote the movie, I'd say, you got it, boss. What jerking off? What do you mean? I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and Rogan's kind of the only place that you kind of have to talk about it.
That's what I'm saying. So if Louis genuinely doesn't want to talk about it, now we may be doing an episode soon where I get a little more into this, so I won't spoil it too much. But my thoughts are basically he's going places where, like, Are You Garbage? It makes perfect sense that they wouldn't ask about it because that's not the podcast that they are. They say, did you drink milk with dinner as a kid? Shit like that.
Did you ever jerk off in front of women? Hey, you're garbage.
Well, we know the answer to that already. It wouldn't be as fun. And then Ari's podcast, like, they talked about the movie and then just kind of veered off and shot the shit about other stuff. On Rogan's, it would be very weird if he didn't bring it up.
Right.
Especially when, like, Rogan's been a defender of his.
Yeah.
So that I had the same thought where I'm like, will they do Rogan? But I wonder. I would bet not.
Back to Louis.
Yes, enough about Louis. We're a real comedian here. Steve North has the floor.
I think the most important thing to learn is the difference between being a comic and being a comedian. Comedic character.
More just bullshit.
It's
the same thing you just said.
You're different than a comic and a comedian and a joke. So a comic, a comedian, and a joke teller are in a room. They walk into a bar.
It's just the Spider-Man meme of everyone pointing at each other.
This fucking guy. What a con artist this guy must be.
you 5 years of your time when you're developing your stand-up act. It's like knowing what house you're going to live in before you buy the furniture.
Oh, okay, I get it. Like the jokes are the furniture, and your house is your comedic persona.
Exactly.
Boy, this isn't scripted at all, huh?
No, I mean, this fucking dude with the weird hat is literally reading as he's talking.
Oh, I get it. So the house is next card, please. The house is your furniture.
Line.
Not a comic. It has to be based on some truths about you. That's the most important thing to understand. Then we exaggerate. I've worked with a lot of stars, and that's all they're doing. They're taking a truth about themselves and really exaggerating it.
Huh?
There's actually 2 parts to a comedic character.
Stars is Steve North.
The first part is the word flaw.
Curious.
There has to be something wrong with you. Not funny if everything's okay.
Jerry Seinfeld.
No life, everything he says is unimportant.
Kathy
Pause a
Griffin.
second. I've been critical of the sign man in the past. No life and everything he says is unimportant is not what Jerry's known for. I understand that what he's trying to say, like he had a show about nothing.
Yeah.
But this guy is roasting Seinfeld worse than I did.
Yeah. And you got mad at him too.
You know that billionaire who fucked a 17-year-old for a while? He has no life, no social life.
Keep forgetting about that.
There's nothing interesting about him.
Was it legal in the state he was in?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was a 17-year-old in New York, I believe. So Shauna, I think her name was.
Everyone should just shut up.
Well, hey.
Horrible gossip, backstabber.
Louis C.K.
Hold on. Hold on. A lot to get to from the 2 seconds we just heard.
Yeah, that was Kathy Griffin.
Okay, I wanted to hear who the backstabber was.
I'm going to rewind it a minute.
Boy, in a pre-Me Too world, which I believe this is from, I'd love to know Louis C.K.'s big flaw.
Can't wait to hear it.
I suspect it'll sound a little dated.
It'd be funny if he goes tiny penis.
Jerks off in front of women.
Although I'm pretty sure the rumors were going around when this.
Yeah, but I got to say, I don't think it's in Steve North's wheelhouse to unearth those rumors.
No.
Everything's okay.
Jerry Seinfeld.
No life, everything he says is unimportant.
Kathy Griffin.
A horrible gossip, backstabber.
Louis C.K.
A loser, overwhelmed by everything.
Well, I guess that's not. I understand what he's saying. I guess that is Louis. Not overwhelmed by it. He actually has a pretty, grounded perspective on things.
Now.
No, but in his stand-up, even I feel like overwhelmed with everything. He's not he's not Woody Allen. He's not a nebbishy fucking weirdo.
True.
C.K.
A loser,
I gotta coach Steve
overwhelmed
North.
by everything.
Lisa Lampanelli.
Gross, insulting.
A real pig of a woman.
Upset. Too upset?
Too upset. Chelsea Handler.
Well, she's a drunken slut.
Exactly.
fellas, my God.
I think there's a couple we missed in there, to be honest.
Well, we might have to go back. But
I am.
This kid, I gotta say, this kid learns quickly. He was just a wide-eyed innocent a mere few minutes ago, and now he's like, she's a dumb whore.
Chelsea Handler, drunken slut.
Booze bag.
That's incredible.
It'd be great if when they got to Chelsea Handler and Lisa Lampanelli, we learned a little bit about Steve North's thoughts on race.
Dates people I don't like.
He's like, you know who they lay with.
Gross, insulting. Louis Black.
Well, he gets upset. Too upset?
Too upset. Chelsea Handler.
They went awfully easy on Louis Black.
Oh yeah, he gets upset real easy.
Worthless life. Gossipy bitch, dumb whore, loser.
Yeah.
Louis Black, he gets a little riled up at times. He gets his dander up once in a while.
You know what? He's uppity.
What, Steve? What have we learned about comedy here? You've just insulted popular comics so far.
The name of this episode is going to be called "Obviously Drunken Slut."
I think the name of Steve North's tape should be "People Who Have Probably Snubbed Me." People who I have an axe to grind with.
Yeah.
Exactly. Rodney Dangerfield.
Obnoxious.
George Carlin is too
Angry.
right.
Okay.
So basically, all these comedians have a flaw.
That's right, and that's why they're big stars.
What? Say Rodney. Hold on. There's a Rodney, by the way, obnoxious. He's famously criticized himself for being ugly and depressed and dumb. I don't know if obnoxious is one of those things.
So he's insinuating that Chelsea Handler is famous because she's a drunken slut.
Yeah. Next time, with the teaching of Steve North, when someone, when a homeless person gets in your face and starts screaming that they're Jesus Christ, say, son, I know the man who could make you a star. I've seen a flaw in you, and I know just the person that can change that into a positive. For the low price of $999.99.
Yeah, you know this thing's fucking expensive.
There were two parts of a comedic character. The first was flaw.
Right.
The second?
The second part is blind spot. And it's very important.
Oh, I got it made.
Dude, you're gonna be the funniest guy he's ever met.
Wow, with all I needed was Steve North's teaching. Who knew?
Is that the character cannot be aware of what's funny or strange about them. Otherwise, you wouldn't.
Did Clemmer watch this before he went to Barstool?
What do you mean I'm weird? What are you talking about?
Frank the Tank? What do you mean?
Laugh at them. You only laugh at them when you realize they don't get it. When Rodney Dangerfield was alive, if he came out and said, now I know I'm a foolish old man and my eyes bug out and I dress funny, but I sure would like to get some respect.
That's pretty much what Rodney.
I get it. So if the character understands
That was
what's
his
wrong
act.
with them.
I hate to break down one of the greats, but that's pretty much. He walked out. I understand what Steve North's going for. Yes, Rodney changed the perspective. Other people thought he was dumb and ugly.
We
So I
should.
guess that's what he means. But you're not learning anything from this other than you couldn't be funny from what Steve North, the information Steve North is giving you here.
No.
You know what I mean? You could be like, oh, what it does is ruin comedy for you, actually. Because you'll watch it and go oh, yeah, I guess that is kind of what they're doing.
Right.
Be like, you know what's wrong with you? Go get help.
Exactly. One of the most important writing formulas for creating great stand-up material. You got writing jokes from the character. You've got exaggeration. You've got the switch.
Rule of
and
three.
you've got combination jokes are out of context. So the
Oh,
first
all
one-
right. Hold on. I want to learn what these are. Let's go back a second. What do we have? We got the combination. We got the switch. What were the other two?
I don't know, I'm waiting for him to talk about the rule of three.
And the first one is writing stand-up material based on your own comedic character. You take truths about yourself, maybe flaws, and exaggerate it.
Okay, my friends say I procrastinate. How would I use that?
Well, that's easy. You would take it, you would exaggerate it big, add a blind spot, and you get something funny.
Oh, hold on. I want to see. So this is procrastination.
Yep. Blind
I'm
spot.
very eager to see. Steve North goes, piece of cake. Easy. In fact, I may have already had one written down. It's funny you would ask that. I may have one written down. So let's see what Steve North is about to slam us with. This idiot procrastinates all the time. Steve, take it away.
This better be funny.
Procrastinate, but next week I'm going to do my back taxes. I'm going to clean the yard, and the week after that, I'm going to get right on that potty training thing.
Oh, I get it.
Oh, the guy shits himself. He's incontinent.
And then you not acknowledging that there's
That is
anything
funny, Steve.
strange about you not being potty trained. That's the
You
blind spot.
procrastinated learning how to go.
Hold
listen to
on.
that shit.
Major formula. I
Go
call
back
it
a little bit because I was laughing pretty hard during that. Steve tells us why we were laughing because I don't know. The laughter just took over my body. He said potty training and I lost it. I'd like to find out why that was so funny.
Oh, I get it. Potty training, that's the big surprise.
right. And then you not acknowledging that there's anything strange about you not being potty trained. That's the blind spot.
Who wouldn't be aware of that, Steve? Who do you? You are siphoning money from whatever rubes you have found to pay you.
This is oh boy.
I like this guy though. The guy that he's with, the guy that's learning from him,
hmm
is a phenomenal actor. There's
Oh,
really
yeah.
no. So potty training is the thing. That's the exaggeration. That's what we're laughing at.
Oh
I
yeah,
see.
drunken slut. Yeah, totally.
So you're saying most adults are potty trained?
Yeah.
Major formula. I call it just exaggeration. You can exaggerate anything. The trick is you have to exaggerate large enough to surprise people, because people don't laugh unless they're surprised.
Yeah,
People fall into the.
My balls weigh 200 to 300 pounds.
Whoa! Now that's funny. That's a big number.
Do you get it?
I got it.
Of not exaggerating big enough. Like, I don't want to say my buddy's put on a few pounds, but last night he couldn't fit through the front door. See, that's not a big enough exaggeration. It gets a smile. What you don't want is the sound of 100 people smiling in a nightclub, because that's the same as the sound of 100 people at a funeral.
How's this one? Is this big enough?
Okay.
I don't want to say my buddy put on a few pounds, but last night he showed up on Google Earth.
Yes.
Oh, shit. Boy, with the coaching of Steve North, you too could be on Yo Mama's House on MTV in 2003.
I like how he's like, what do you think about this one? And he just goes, yes.
One that Steve North clearly wrote. He's giving it nothing.
No shit.
So if you have a book of jokes.
Switch. Yeah, it's major. You almost can't see a minute of comedy without seeing a switch. It's just another way of creating surprise. So you misdirected, then you switch. So for example.
Pause a second. I want to learn more about this, but while we're doing that, could you look up what see if Steve North is still alive, first of all.
See if he's touring.
See if you can find like what his classes are, like what he charges people, any information like that.
North class.
While you do that, let's play a little more.
I was in this tough biker bar, and you should have seen these people. Wiry beards and scars and beefy, hairy forearms.
That was just the women.
Seen the guys.
I'm learning, Steve.
You killed that.
I'm learning.
Have you seen this yet?
I've picked up a few things from Steve North already. That was a misdirect.
You should see the women.
And misdirect and switch. Isn't that the same thing? He's making it like it's 2 steps.
www.funnycoach.com.
Oh, I was going to get this. Seems like a guy that would own like comedy.com or something.
Oh, he has kids classes.
Oh, excellent. You could get your kids in this.
Kids with a Z, by the way.
That's how you know he's cool.
He goes by phone, Zoom, or Skype.
What does he do, though? Like, what does he charge? What does he offer?
I've had great results coaching people all over the world through telephone sessions, Skype, whether it's to start a career in stand-up comedy or to be funnier in social and or business situations.
Can we get this guy on?
I will try.
Yeah, send him an email. Say, I've got a podcast where we talk comedy and we'd like to learn a little more about it.
Yep. And we'll promote your class.
Yeah. And we have a lot of comedy fans that are eager to learn as well.
We have to commit to laughing so hard at everything he says.
Yeah, see if we can get Steve North on.
There is I can get in touch with him in 4 seconds. So.
Oh, excellent. All right.
I don't want to be culling here, so I'm not going to, dig myself into a hole.
Don't guarantee it, but yeah, there's a good chance you're saying.
Likely. Everyone leave him alone until after he's on the show, please.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll leave it there. I don't want to learn too much from this guy. I'd like to go in a little green,
Yeah. No, that's great. Or we have to overly laugh at everything he says or try to be funnier than him.
Well, we'll think of something. We'll see. Maybe he'll teach us a lot. Who knows?
No, every time he goes for a setup, you tag it better than he was gonna.
Just look up. I'm sure he has a list of like 7 jokes that we could just look up.
Or if he goes through this whole video.
Oh, we have to. Yeah, we have to bait him into just repeating this video.
Yeah.
Yeah. No one rat on us. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. Chelsea Handler. Commie slut.
Cunt. Is that the right word, Steve? Am I learning? All right. Well, hopefully we can get that done.
Oh, I'm working on it now.
And if you'd like to see all kinds of content like that, then go to blindmike.net. That's where you can get the Patreon merch, all the links to our podcast, blah, blah, blah. And you can do the same for Craig on verygoodshow.org.
Hell yeah.
And,
Show tonight at 8.
Show tonight at 8. Go watch it. And you could be on the show, apparently. You could just, if you pay enough, you could just be a part of the Very Good Show.
Yeah, it's mic tryouts. So come along and do your best.
Prestigious chair to try and fill. All right, everybody.
It's pretty vacant all the time.
We'll see you guys later.
Until then, have yourself a great day, and as